welcome to episode 45 of the ControllerCast. My name is Ursula Uckler, joined as always by Andrew, big math guy, Ihausen, and and Jonathan. I am addicted to Fortnite. What? How's your week been, boys? And also, I want to add a little interesting question to the mix. What's been the main song in your rotation this week? Just a little something to spice it up. But John, how about you start us off?
That's spicy. I gotta look at what would be the main song in my rotation. I don't know if there's one song specifically, but the album Pieces from William Black, it's a EDM album, has been heavy on rotation. It's actually really good. Like, I know you guys don't listen to EDM much, but
I feel like every time you share an EDM song or album with us, you're like, it's actually really good, guys.
It's actually I highly recommend it.
As if the standard is that it's bad.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys don't like EDM, so I have to preface it with I highly recommend. It's actually really good. But no, it's actually really good. Casey and I have had it on repeat for well, it's funny because a couple of the songs we discovered back like right before we got married, and they were in our honeymoon playlist. So it's got kind of like a factor to it like that. Like, you know how when you listen to songs during like trips or something and it takes you back there when you listen to it, it's got that factor for us. So that makes it really good, but it's also really good in general. A couple of the better songs I think are like Only Reason, Real Life, and Haven. I sent you guys that track before. It's the first track on the album, but it's really good. What did we do this week? I'm trying to think. It was pretty chill.
Fortnite.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like lately Casey and I have been on kind of a schedule like that where each weeknight we'll make dinner. We'll make dinner at home, and then we will watch a couple episodes of something, Seinfeld maybe. Hint hint, wink wink.
Seinfeld, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, it's not like the title of the podcast going to say that we're talking about Seinfeld.
I forget about that.
No
when you watch our episode, you need to close your eyes. Do not see what the title is.
You just got to click on it blindly. But yeah, so we'll watch a couple episodes of something while we eat, listen to some music while we make food. I'll take Augie out, and then it'll be like 6 p.m. or so by the time we're done with all that. And then we hop on Fortnite. Usually I'll bring out the TV from the bedroom and put it on our TV stand because our other TV is hung up on the wall. So it's a nice little setup. Casey uses the PS5. I use the PS4, and we'll play like usually a few matches each night. She almost got the white Spidey, didn't quite get there. I think I ended off at like level 178, which is ridiculous. Andrew and I both put in a disgusting amount of hours into this Fortnite season, even though we started like probably 6 weeks in. I don't know. I put in over 100 hours this season, like 100 and what was it, Andrew? Like 130, or was that?
Yours is like 115 or something.
Sheesh.
Fortnite's gonna become your most played game by end of the year.
Dude, by the end of the year, it might be like literally one of my most played games. It could take over like the third spot potentially. So, but yeah, we played a lot of Fortnite. We watched this really cute dog movie on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. It has some cringy moments, but it's one of those feel good kind of dog is the main character movie. It's called
Airbud.
It's called like it's Rescued by Ruby, and dude, it's a tearjerker at the end, as all dog movies are, but not in a sad way, actually. In a really cute way. It was a tearjerker. It was based on a true story and stuff, and like it's actually insane how it ends. Like it's got a little twist to it, and it was fantastic.
Opens up the Rescued by Ruby universe, cinematic universe.
Yeah. Hopefully they expand upon Ruby, the dog, and keep going with it. Get some multiverse action in there. It's a Netflix original. It was actually really good. I was surprised. We always keep up on our spooky shows like Ghost Adventures, The Dead Files. We watch a lot. It's a show about like I'm pretty sure most people know Ghost Adventures. It's Zach Baggins. He like, he hunts ghosts and stuff and overreacts to small shit. We love that. We've seen like literally every episode of it. But we also watch The Dead Files, which is a show about a psychic medium that goes into houses, and she has a partner that like is skeptical about ghosts, but he was a homicide detective and he gets like all the facts. Like he interviews the people that like people are like, oh, shit's going on in my home. I need you guys to come check it out. So Amy doesn't meet up with her partner, who's the homicide detective, the psychic. She goes in, she like reads the place and talks about like what's going on with the living, what's going on with the dead in the place, and how it's affecting everything. And then like the homicide detective goes and interviews people around the town, historians, and finds out about the location and what happened there. And shit matches up like 100% of the time. And it's really interesting. It's on the Travel Channel. If you have Discovery Plus, it's on there. And
they're merging Discovery Plus with HBO Max.
I did hear that, which I'm really upset about because that means I won't have 4K Travel Channel anymore. It'll just be disgusting, stinky 720p on HBO Max, because HBO Max is the worst streaming service by far. Their sound is terrible. Their picture quality is terrible. I don't know what's wrong with it, honestly. Like usually we pull it up on PS5 and we're like, oh, that'll fix it, right? Pull it up on the most powerful console that, is made for 4K and shit. And our Roku TV can't stream in 4K. We have Gigablast internet. We have the highest speed internet you can get from Cox, and it doesn't work on any platform we try it. It's always buffering. It always looks like shit.
Every movie looks fucking disgusting. Like I'm
It
still
looks
like so
terrible.
so sad that you guys had to experience Dude that way. Like
HBO Max sucks.
I'm sad that Discovery Plus will be merging with it. Like that's actually terrible because Discovery Plus is a gem. The only downside to it is that it's not on PlayStation, and that's like our primary streaming device. So I'm trying to think. Pretty much that's it. I mean, we just grinded Fortnite this week. I was trying to get Scarlet Spidey. I actually got it like earlier in the week, and then we were just grinding after that. But apparently all the sweats were grinding this week too, because Casey and I had a really hard time like Friday, Saturday getting wins. But last night we queued up with Jared and Allison, and we got 3 wins across 5 games. So that was a good way to end the season off. And this morning we can't get in. I had a 4-hour queue time just to get to the main menu this morning. So hopefully it'll be fixed by the time we're done recording and Casey and I get some lunch. But yeah, it was a pretty relaxed week. We just grinded Fortnite. That's probably going to be a lot of my how you doing for the next few weeks. What about you, Andrew? What have you been listening to, and how's your week going?
Well, I've been listening to After Hours since today's the 2-year anniversary of that legendary release.
S tier album.
And when I told John that this morning, he said that album stinks.
I was kidding.
Gave it a 9 out of 10. Stinks.
I know. I was kidding. Big jokes.
This week, like honestly, just playing Fortnite. New Mario Kart tracks came out, so those are pretty banging. I feel like there's definitely a big disparity between one of the cups and the other cup in terms of quality. I feel like
The first one
The
sucks.
first one. No, the first one's a good one. It's got Paris and Coconut Mall and
Ninja Hideaway.
Yeah, that one. That's the only good one in the second cup, though. The rest of that cup sucks.
The first cup is a lot harder, I'll say.
I
It's
think you're
weird. In
thinking of them
Coconut Mall,
backwards.
really? I
The
guess
first
it's
one's way easier.
I thought the second one was way easier.
Anyways, been playing that. Played that a lot on Friday, and then we had a Jordan's formal last night, so that was a good old time. And yeah, besides that, I caved. I'm a slut for From Software now. I have Elden Ring on the way, so I can finally see what all the circle jerking is about. And maybe join in on the circle jerk. So I guess we'll
yes.
Hopefully by next episode I'll have at least a couple hours put into the game. So
yeah, I after harassing these two constantly harassing these motherfuckers, getting on my hands and knees, begging, pleading.
Yeah, this Ursula is like gonna reach through the screen and strangle me if I didn't order Elden Ring when he demanded it.
Bro, honestly, when you said like you would get it if it was $30, I was about to like Venmo you $20, be like, just go to Walmart right now, go buy this.
Damn, I should have stood my ground.
Yeah. Will you do that with Kirby for me?
I'll do that for Elden Ring for you.
Why don't you just get Gamefly, John? Like me.
I was thinking about it. It is actually 1 month free. No bullshit.
Well, yeah, it's a free trial. You get charged right after the month's over, but yeah.
Well, if anything, I would do that to play Kirby, and then I'll just steal Elden Ring from Ursul's account when he's done with it. And like,
I don't have to be done with it.
What?
I don't have to be done with it for you to play it, though.
Just don't play it at the same time.
Yeah, but that's always like, I feel like that's a pain in the ass. I don't know.
Bro, you're on PS5 playing Fortnite like 9 hours a night. You can find 1 hour, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's only like 30 gigabytes.
I wouldn't want to just play it an hour at a time, though. I feel like that's a game you have to like sit down and play for a few hours to make some progress. Like Breath of the Wild, I preferred sitting down and playing it for a few hours when I could, but
yeah, John, the excuses are running out. Elden Ring will be on your screen at one point. You cannot.
I'm sure
the excuse list is getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
especially now. Look, I exposed a way to get the game for free.
I mean, with how with how much of a
light skin face
I am.
Throws up the light skin face.
No, I'm sure I'll play it. I would be cheating myself, I'm sure, if I didn't at least try it. Put like 10, 15 hours into it. Yeah, I'm sure I'll try it out.
Yeah, Andrew, I'll just say this. I'm very, very jealous. You are in for a fucking roller coaster, buddy. Especially a treat, especially since it's your first FromSoft game. It's like a whole new world. Wow, like literally just wow. I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. But I'll say this: if you have any questions, feel free to always ask, because those games can definitely be like, whoa.
Yes, I definitely will.
Yeah, it'll be.
Other than that, that was my week. Not just fucking. I don't know why, but the start of the year is just always such a fucking like slog to get through. There's nothing interesting ever fucking happening.
Were you at like a wedding or some shit last night?
A formal?
Oh, a sorority formal?
Yeah.
It looked fun.
Yep, it was a good old time. Found out some stuff about old coworkers that I probably didn't ever need to know, but
what the fuck? Just expose them right now here and there on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
shout out
people for their vices.
Shout out Hy-Vee.
Other than that, yeah, that's it. What about you, Ursel?
Yeah, so song I'll give a shout out to is Flocky Flocky by Don Toliver. It's been on my rotation. You guys should check it out.
Flocky Flocky, Taki Flocky.
Yeah. She flocky off whatever you call it. Anyways,
That sounds like it would be in Anthony Fontano's like reading shitty lyrics videos.
she flocky off whatever you call it. Like, but yeah, fucking shout out to Anthony Fantano, he's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I played a little bit of, actually started Horizon Forbidden West. It's actually super funny because I played like an hour of it, and I mean, so far it just seems like Horizon, but it's like we've been wanting to play it like more. We started playing it like on Wednesday, and like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every time we've been sitting down, me and Tane have been like, okay, what game are we trying to play? It'll be like, oh yeah, let's play Horizon, because we only played that for like an hour and like hour, 2 hours so far. And then right when we turn on the PS5, somehow, like I don't know how, like Elden Ring starts instead.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I've heard of that bug happening. I heard that like
so
when a
weird.
better game that released like a week after Horizon releases comes out, there's a bug where it just automatically opens the better game because Horizon is dog shit.
Oh, I do not condone what Andrew says, but it's not as good. It's inferior to its week after counterparts.
To 1 week goat that comes out.
Jesus.
But yeah, no, it's kind of, it's almost like becoming a joke. But yeah, like we end up just playing Elden Ring instead, because we'll be like, wait, let's do that one thing in Elden Ring real quick, and then we end up playing Elden Ring for like 3 hours. Yeah, I've been playing more Elden Ring. I'm about 26 hours in now. I just beat Hogwarts. And yes, and if anyone has played the game, they know that the Burger King men in Hogwarts will not stop harassing you. Shout out to the Burger King men.
Why is it called Burger King?
Oh my god. I don't know, because they literally have the Burger King faces, the Burger King man faces, and they're shooting spells at you. But yeah, that game, honestly, I'm very much at the point where it's like, I think it's better than Breath of the Wild. I'm like 26 hours in, and that's quite the claim I'm making. That is a bold claim, but it's like not, it's just blowing every expectation out of the water for me. Like just seriously, like literally, I'll just give another example, because I have I found this random dome, just this small dome to building in this field. I go into this dome, it's an elevator, it takes me down, keeps going down, and I end up in this huge cave world where like it's so deep that there's literally stars in this cave. Like there's a star system, like it's crazy, it's wild, like the shit that you see in this game. And then I don't know, there's just so much crazy shit that you just see every time you play this game, that it just, like I'm gonna be, holding Breath of the Wild 2 up to this game instead of holding Breath of the Wild 2 up to Breath of the Wild 1. I feel like it's wild.
Breath of the Wild 2 stinky.
Yeah, and John, you should play Elden Ring, because it definitely seems like it's right up your alley.
I'll probably do an easy build if I do it.
Yeah, there's so many ways to make the game like a straight meme. Literally, like I was telling these guys, there's a video I saw this past week where a dude literally went to go take a shit and came back, and he had beaten the boss because he just pressed one button and walked away. It's wild.
That's insane.
And I went to this grad party last night, and we're all chilling at this grad party, and Elden Ring came up in the conversation, and I get like almost everyone at this grad party had beaten the game already, and I was like, wow, maybe I should play it more, I guess. I don't know, what the fuck, how'd you guys beat it so fast? Like, it's wild.
You did have that 2-week delay though.
That is fair. And then so yeah, I've just been playing, I guess, Horizon.
I think you just don't care enough.
I think you're just not a pro gamer. Like,
yeah, us. I feel like you're just a fucking casual.
Yeah, I don't have the dedication.
Yeah.
And then also the Grand Theft Auto update came out, the GTA 5.
Fucking give me a fucking break.
Kind of a failure.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean the 60 FPS is really nice, but honestly, this gave me some more red flags about the state of Rockstar than like that GTA collection that came out last year did. Because that one you could kind of just chalk it up to Grove Street Games making it and being like, okay, like whatever. But there's like certain things with this release where I'm like, really? Like you couldn't have fixed that or like made that better? Like the fact that it still takes like 20 something seconds for this game to load when like every PlayStation 5 game loads in like less than 5 seconds.
It stunk like ass, dude. That was such a miserable experience getting that shit set up on Friday when we were playing.
Took us 45 minutes to get into a game together.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I don't know if there's something weird in the back end that they changed where it's like hard. I don't know. I feel like I was going through way more technical issues than I was like whenever we tried to play on PS4. Once we got into it, I thought it was pretty fun, but it took us like 30 to 40 minutes just to like
forever. And then fucking we had to play with this dude that's played 3,000 fucking hours of GTA because why wouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. We always get the thing, it's kind of a running joke for us because us three will play together and a lot of the game modes in GTA Online require 4 people. So there's always like one random that joins and it's always like a stick like a pulling a
fucking
like
thorn in my asshole.
Yeah, it's like pulling a straw out of a hat or whatever, like who's gonna be paired up with the kid, quote unquote, the kid.
We call him the child.
Yeah, the child, the kid, as we always refer to this
the
fourth member.
Wing.
Yeah, but you know, I'll give a shout out to that guy. He stuck through the entire playlist that we made.
He did. That shit took like an hour and a half. That was a fucking marathon.
Yeah, but once you get it going, it's pretty fun. But my God, it is like GTA Online, like cumbersome as all fuck. It's just play. They got rid of the custom jobs thing, which makes no sense. It's so
snipers v stunters, rest in peace.
Yeah, like I don't even like. I'm guessing probably we'll have to go back onto the website and add it in or something. I don't even know.
I don't even remember how to do that shit.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. But
we do not care.
But besides that, playing Fortnite with these guys as well. I just got to level 100 this past week. Got Black Suit Spidey right before the new season ended. But it's nice because like all of these battle royale games, if you can grind through the battle pass enough, you'll be able to afford the next one for free. Which I think the battle pass
probably have a little bit of V-Buck left over.
Well, isn't the battle pass 800?
Yeah, 950.
Oh, I thought it was 800.
Yeah, I thought it was 800. Oh, it was $8 to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'll be able to get this next one for free, and I'm sure if I just play it enough, I already have 1,600 V-Bucks, so I just only need to get a couple hundred more just to be able to afford the next one after that. So it's kind of like an infinite loop now of like.
Now you're stuck.
You'll never buy it because you'll never buy anything from the item shop with your V-Buck.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, unless the gritty comes in, then you have to buy it again.
You have to buy the gritty.
Okay. This is good. I don't know if this is gonna be a hot take. But I don't know. I have a hard time justifying like dropping $20 for something that's like cosmetic.
Metaverse of madness.
Well, I'm gonna be Black Suit Spidey in the metaverse, so I'm set.
Well, what I did was when I wanted the tune pack, I had enough V-Bucks from leveling up that I got the Stormtrooper costume, and then I just went and refunded the Stormtrooper costume, got all my V-Bucks back, and then bought the tune costume. So I think I paid like $21 total, including buying a battle pass.
Between Casey and I'm probably
don't even tell
90,
me. Jesus.
90 between two people though.
Wow.
I'm gonna try and not spend much more money on it, honestly.
Cosmetics that add nothing to the game or Elden Ring. Cosmetics.
Cosmetics. But Casey enjoys it too.
Can I rent V-Bucks from Gamefly?
But yeah, besides that, those have kind of been the 3 games in my rotation. After this next week, I'm going to try to also rent Kirby. Very curious to see what the Metacritic is on that. I'm predicting
it's anything less than 105. Nah, I'm not getting it. Sorry.
I'm predicting 85 Metacritic.
I'm gonna put out an 88 prediction.
I'll say 87.
I'm doing 85. I'm saying 85 because I was looking, Epic Yarn is the highest Kirby rate game, and that's 86. So being a little conservative, 85.
I guess
We'll
we'll
see.
see.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll a little bit.
Whoever gets it wrong has to buy the other two a copy.
Well, 2 people are going to be wrong because there's 3 of us.
Oh yeah. Whoever.
Jesus.
I'm kidding. I'm not. I can't. I'm not agreeing to this. I don't have the money. But
Okay.
that would be lit to get a copy for free from one of y'all.
How about you just refund?
How about
the
you just
V-Bucks?
fucking wait until?
I can't get cash back for it.
Why
I would
don't
only
you
get
wait
V-Bucks
until
back.
Friday, and you get a 1-month trial of GameFly, and then just get
Play
Kirby
for free.
I was thinking about
literally
that.
fucking
Yeah,
free.
you ought to expose it even more. How about you do a 1 month of GameFly, and then once that ends, then you just use Casey's info, and then do a 2nd month of GameFly for free.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah,
That'd be
really funny. Because you and Casey are 2 separate people, and like Casey, maybe she wants to try GameFly.
Oh, and you probably
know?
have multiple emails for some reason. So you like,
maybe.
yeah, man.
And you have multiple cards, right?
I do
Oh.
have multiple cards.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
Fortnite Battle Pass. Yeah,
This
I'll be
is the
grinding
pod.
Fortnite, though. No time.
The pod about nothing.
This
Pod about
is the
nothing.
podcast about nothing.
Yeah. And yeah, and besides that, the very last thing I did this week was watch this show called Seinfeld, which is
What's that?
surprisingly our main topic.
Whoa.
Yeah.
May have
Shoot.
heard of it. Maybe.
Yeah. So
It's this small indie show. Not a lot
Yeah,
of people
it was
yeah.
aired on like, I think it came out on like True TV or something.
Yeah, like
maybe like
True
Hallmark
TV.
Hallmark Channel.
the Hallmark Channel. Yeah.
Hey, shout out True TV. This is the one weekend a year that I use True TV because the basketball tournament is on True TV for like 4 games a weekend.
True.
And then it's
TV.
Impractical Jokers.
True TV.
yes, Impractical Jokers. Shout out to Impractical Jokers. One of the shows I just watched primarily through YouTube clips. Like Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares is great.
I have my TV has this like smart TV setup where like whenever the PS5 or whenever I turn it off, it switches to like this proprietary like TV channel thing.
An
And, like-
advertisement. You have ads.
No. Like this channel is literally only Kitchen Nightmares. So like it literally
Yeah. We have that on Roku.
Mine
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
do that. What the fuck?
So like it's so funny. Like whenever the TV is turned on, like any of us stop using the PS5 or something, Kitchen Nightmares will play, and it's just like it's literally we use it as like background noise for all 3 of us here. Like we just like literally like everyone's minding their own business. We're all doing homework or doing something, making food, and you just see Kitchen Nightmares on in the background. Like
I feel like that would be so stressful having that on in the background.
it's always on. If the PS5 or I haven't used the Series X in a minute. If the PS5 is not on, then Kitchen Nightmares is on. It's one or the other.
That's lit.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
But yeah, as I was
Seinfeld.
saying before, I was rudely fucking interrupted by these 2 fucks. The main topic of the show is Seinfeld. So let's get into it.
Podcasts and web shows are on the rise, and for good reason. They're great sources of entertainment and can be great listens in multitudes of situations like long drives or intense study sessions. Maybe, just maybe, you have an idea for a show or podcast that you want to put out into the world. Well, lucky for you, it's never been easier to jump into podcasting thanks to the wonderful people at Anchor.fm. Anchor takes care of most of the back-end work of podcasts. No more are the days of coordinating releases on multiple platforms, paying for a podcast hosting subscription to hold your RSS feed, or other hassles. Anchor sets up your podcast on all the major podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple automatically. They even provide sleek and easy-to-use editing tools that can be accessed from your phone or computer to get your podcast to the world through the path of least resistance. Anchor also matches you up with sponsors so that you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and even gives you in-depth stats for your shows like total plays, regions of viewership, as well as what kind of devices your show is being listened on. Here's the best part about all of this. It's free. So what are you waiting for? Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. If you're ready to add your voice and vision to the mix, it's never been easier. And I highly recommend you go the way of Anchor.fm, just like the ControllerCast did. So here you go. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor.fm.
So let's get into the main topic. So this is a show that took the world by storm in the 90s. Still is a cultural landmark, and probably will be for all of time. And that is the show Seinfeld. Ran for 9 seasons. It was a cultural phenomenon, as I said earlier. I'm sure all of our parents can. I don't know if all of our parents were really big on it. I know my dad was huge on it.
My parents are still huge on it.
Yeah, my dad actually lived in New York City in the 90s, so it was that's like a
that's hilarious. It probably resonated with him hardcore then.
Yeah, my dad is a huge fan of the show. He owns like the full like boxed set of like all the seasons. I think this is like even before Blu-ray. I think he has them on like DVD or some shit. So he was really big on it, and that's actually kind of
boxed VHS set.
No, it was not VHS, but yeah, like it is like it's like DVDs. I think it actually might be Blu-ray. I don't know, but he has the whole thing in physical media, which is actually like kind of how I got exposed to the show, because my dad just such a huge fan of it, and that's like and they actually started my parents actually started rewatching it recently too, so it's kind of been funny like talking with them recently about the show. So actually I've had exposure to the show like throughout my whole life, but and watched like a lot of random episodes here and there like throughout while in my youth years, and I actually tried to like make a conscious effort to start rewatching it last year, which was kind of an ill-fated decision because it left Hulu like in June in the midst of me rewatching it, and then I had to wait like 3-4 months until it got added on to Netflix before I could start watching it again. But I've been, it's been a steady part of my random viewing rotation for like the past year again, and honestly I love it. It's just so funny, and like so many of its stories stand the test of time and its characters. But what's your guys' kind of like history with Seinfeld up to this point?
I used to actually not be a fan. Like, I remember like late night TV on the CW. I don't know if you guys watched it on the CW, but it was like one of those antenna TV channels, because we didn't have cable. We had it when I was growing up, and then we got rid of it and never got it back because my parents were like
cable cutters.
Yeah, we were cable. We were the original cable cutters, the first ones to ever do it ever. But
the cable's the devil.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing good's ever on cable, to be honest. So
except the one time of the year where I needed to like watch the Oscars or like watch the Super Bowl.
No, the Oscars wasn't even on cable, was it? I don't think it was ever. I feel like I was always able to watch it.
Yeah, it was just on broadcast TV, like NBC or some shit.
Yeah, just like Seinfeld. But they used to play. They would play all the episodes in order on the CW, like every night, every weeknight at like 10 or 11, and it would swap spots with like Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens, and like those three would constantly switch like time frames of when they would play. I used to be the bigger fan of King of Queens. I still think King of Queens is actually hilarious.
Oh, I thought you were about to say King of Queens is better.
No. Yeah, no. There have been a couple of episodes of King of Queens that have made me like legitimately cry laughing, but Seinfeld has done that to me a number of times. And yeah, I used to not be the biggest fan of Seinfeld, but as I got older, I started appreciating it more. And I've probably gone through every episode at least a few times, but many of them like a dozen or more times. I used to live and breathe Seinfeld, And watching a few episodes this week was a great time because I love it. Like I've been watching it probably, I don't know, probably like 16 years now that I can remember. But it's easily one of my favorite shows.
So when did you become a fan of it then? If you weren't a fan of it early on, like, or when you're saying you weren't a fan of it, was that when you were like 5?
I wasn't a fan of it probably at like 10, but like 14 years old or so, I feel like I started to understand the jokes a lot better. And for some reason, like, I don't know, maybe it was the style of it. I don't know what I didn't like originally, but I'm glad I came around to it because a lot of people don't like Seinfeld and they don't even have a real reason not to like it. And I was one of those people originally, but no, I mean, I came to love it probably around the age of 14. And then when it came on Hulu, I would just watch it on repeat. Like, I used to work at Lowe's and I would come home every day during my lunch break and watch a couple episodes. I always had time to watch 2, and I watched it in order at least a couple times when it was on Hulu. And I haven't watched it as much when it's on Netflix, but because Casey isn't the biggest fan. But
Damn.
I know.
Damn.
You've never seen it all the way through though. But
And
my
she's your
parents
wife?
love it. I know. I have to. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
My parents loved it though, so that might also be like, they were like, you have to get into it. So
You
but
have
I
to.
love it. I love Seinfeld and I highly recommend it. Everyone has to watch. You have to watch it. If you don't like it, if you're one of those people that have like genuinely never watched it and you don't like it, give it a chance.
There's genuinely some like terms and quotes that have like come out of that show. It's like really like
Festivus.
yeah,
Festivus for the rest of us.
yada yada.
Yada yada. Yeah.
Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, like there's been a lot of
Controversial episode.
there's been so many great like I mean, we live in a society like
I mean, it
like,
pushed comedy forward. Like a lot of people thought at the time that this was offensive. Like Seinfeld was offensive, and looking back on it, I don't think so.
it's
But
tame. I feel
it's pretty
like
tame considering.
yeah.
I think like I didn't watch it until like actually pretty recently, like probably like after I went to college was like when I first started just like shuffling through them. I haven't like watched them all in order from like start to finish. It's one of those shows I just throw a random one on,
Okay, yeah,
and
same.
just kind of like roll through it that way. Actually, like the funny thing is like I actually watched Curb Your Enthusiasm before this show, and I thought that show was fucking hilarious. And then I found out that Larry David like wrote Seinfeld, and I was like, holy fuck, there's a whole like 10-season show that this motherfucker wrote. So then that's like kind of what piqued my interest. But like, yeah, it's kind of funny that I became interested in this show because of like Curb instead of actual Seinfeld. Because I think Curb is like funny as fuck.
I've
Like
never
Larry
seen
David's
it.
hilarious.
You've never seen Curb?
Really?
No, I've never seen a single episode.
I don't
I've
think
seen
it's as
like
good as
clips.
I don't think
It's
it's as
not
good as
as-
Seinfeld.
Yeah,
but
I think Seinfeld's better, but it's still like it's a pretty fucking funny. It's a John show. Like if you like Seinfeld, I think you would like Curb.
I know you guys have told me before to give it a shot, but I just never have. I never got around to it. For some
it's
reason.
definitely like you can't go into it with like the same like set of expectations as Seinfeld because it's like a different format. It's like kind of like The Office kind of format, where like the camera's like shaky and all this shit. Like
Yeah, I'm kind of
like,
annoyed that The Office like normalized that because that style's so overdone now. Like
Yeah.
every single sitcom does that now.
yeah, but I guess I mean, first let's get the elephant out of the room. This or Friends?
Yes.
Seinfeld easy,
Yeah.
dude. Friends is literally the dollar store knockoff bitch boy brand of
I don't think
Seinfeld.
it's that bad.
You got a Friends fan here.
Whoa, what?
Oh.
So if I give this show a 10 and I give Friends a 9.5, that makes me a schmuck or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys
No,
are
I'm
fucking. You
kidding.
beta fucking one
I've
or the other.
tried
Why don't you be a
watching
fucking?
Friends.
Why don't you be a fucking alpha Chad and just appreciate both of them?
Friends are just, dude, I've tried watching it and I just can't. The characters are so unfunny. I don't know. Maybe I need to give it another shot, but
I think Friends is like some psycho shit. Like Ross.
Psycho shit. Okay, yeah.
Ross is a fucking
Okay, yeah.
psycho.
By pulling the worst character of the entire show out, you could say the show sucks. Like that's like
what
that's
I always
like
think of
that's
too.
like that's like orienting your entire opinion of Seinfeld around fucking like fucking Newman.
Yeah, who?
Newman. Newman's great.
Jerry
He's a psycho.
Newman. Yeah.
Newman.
But yo, Newman pulls. Newman has game.
Yeah, Newman does pull,
he
including Kramer's mom.
yeah, and the girl he broke up with the girl that Jerry found attractive, and then Jerry broke up with her
Yeah.
because of that.
That's a great episode.
Yeah, literally saw that episode last night. So that's why it came to mind.
Oh, I love that.
But what do you guys think? I guess in the hierarchy of like, sitcoms, where does this stand? Because I do think it's the best, and it always gets me a little tilted whenever people are like, The Office is the greatest sitcom of all time, or like Friends, or fucking King of Queens. I've never
I
Hey,
don't think
yo,
anyone
King
says
of Queens. I will
is the
not
best
stand for
sitcom.
King of Queens slander.
Like,
I don't know if
Okay.
anyone says King of Queens is the best, but it's definitely
or like
I would
Community
put,
or
like,
some shit.
I would put like Seinfeld is probably like the peak sitcom for me, and then it'd probably be like Modern Family is pretty fucking good, and
I
then
like Schitt's Creek a lot.
yeah, Schitt's Creek is pretty. I haven't watched all of Schitt's Creek, but from the first season that I watched, it's pretty good. I like that one.
Schitt's Creek. I've never seen it, but
Schitt's Creek.
I just started laughing because we used to have that. We had that like short day or two where we were debating Superstore or Schitt's Creek, and you couldn't get into Superstore, Ursel, could you?
Yeah, well,
Well, you
Um,
sent us like this clip that you're like
the
this
worst
made me
clip
fucking
ever.
cry, and I was like,
Okay,
okay.
it didn't show the full clip. Like you have to know the characters.
Then why
too.
would you
have
send
to-
us the clip if we have to have context to make the clip make sense?
I
see,
didn't
that
realize
was
until
a
after like when you guys reacted to it, I was like, yeah, I guess.
I
you
didn't
kinda
even
need to
bother
know who
watching
these characters
Superstore
are.
because you sent that. I was like, this is the most unfunny fucking thing I've
Yeah,
ever seen in
this-
my entire life.
literally. I felt like I had John sent that clip, and I felt like I had like a telepathic moment where like with Andrew, with like probably like I just had this feeling me and Andrew watching this clip both at the same time, like and like it was just like a scene from a movie cross-cutting between us, and like we both were just like unfazed by the scene.
Bro,
Like, how do I
that
break it to
scene-
John?
That was
show
like
the
that was
full
like
scene.
one of those moments where you're like, okay.
Yeah. I was just like watching that clip, and I was like, yeah, like how do I tell John that was like the most unfunny shit I've ever seen in my life?
probably just like that. Dude, Superstore is fire. Superstore is like probably my second favorite sitcom. Legit.
Holy shit.
Is it because you worked at a superstore?
We all have.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's relatable. It's relatable, but like even if you haven't worked at a store, like I feel like it's relatable because it like shows customers and like the crazy shit people do. Seinfeld is king though.
Yeah, Seinfeld's
Yeah.
top peak.
Seinfeld is the king of Queens. Like
What?
What?
I don't know.
John
But
thinks
King
he's
of-
funny.
King of
Challenge.
Queens-
John try to
John make a
John
funny
try-
joke
joke
challenge.
challenge. Yeah.
King of Queens is probably top 5 though. I would say King of Queens is top 5.
All right, and that concludes our King of Queens podcast episode. Thank you.
I just always associate Seinfeld with King of Queens because they were always on back to back on the CW, and that was like when I really dove into both. I don't really enjoy a lot of sitcoms, funny enough, but Seinfeld is like, it never fucking fails to make me laugh, ever. Like every episode is fire. I
Seinfeld
really
is like what The Office could have been if The Office didn't become cringe in like the past 5 years.
Yeah, Netflix ruined The Office, bro.
Oh my
Like-
god, it's so fucking bad, dude. And now like all the most basic skinwalkers in the world fucking love The
Plebs.
Office. Like it's their fucking like day job to praise that fucking show.
Yeah,
The
you know, like
Office was great for like seasons 3 through 5, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, it's like that meme where it's like, it's just like, oh, like I like fucking Office or whatever. It's just like some photo of like some
Liking The
beta,
Office
beta,
is
like
not
a
a
beta
fucking
pleb.
personality trait.
Yeah, it's like you're a beta pleb if you like Office, and then it's like Seinfeld is the best sitcom, and it's just like a photo of a Giga Chad.
The Giga Chat.
And Giga Chad.
Headphone warning.
If you like, if Seinfeld is the greatest sitcom to you, you are a Giga Chad.
Yeah, Giga Chat.
It really is. Nothing compares, dude. Like the consistency of Seinfeld, dude, nothing fucking compares. Every episode is iconic in its own regard.
And I think, well, I was like really trying to hone in while I was like watching episodes this week. I was like, what makes this show click? Like, what, like, why? Like, it's not just that it's funny, shows are funny. It's more, there's more to it than just that. And I was thinking, my question, is like, why do you guys think this show stands the test of time? Photo Giga Chad. That needs to be your character in Elden Ring, Giga Chad.
Yeah, I'll make Giga Chad. I'll make Skeet.
Yeah.
I'll make George Costanza my character in Elden Ring. Can't stand ya.
I think
Can't stand ya.
I think the reason this show like isn't like the humor sticks is that like the thing that's unique about Seinfeld is that every little tiny fucking detail comes back around every single episode, and it makes it like the funniest fucking shit ever.
There are
Like,
no loose ends.
yeah, like the one I think about is when George and is it Jerry and Kramer or Jerry and George that are in the hotel room, and Jerry like pours like water on these fucking doves that are keeping him up at night, and it ends up or he's with Kramer or no,
Or he's with
George
and
and
Kramer's
it's
with
Kramer's
the pageant woman.
girlfriend,
Yeah.
with the pageant girl.
Yeah.
And Jerry ends up killing her doves, and she fucking loses, and it's like the funniest fucking thing ever. It's like such a minor detail. It's like these fucking birds won't shut the fuck up, and then just like throws the water out, and then he's
For
like,
me,
Jerry, somebody killed their doves.
the funniest example of shit coming back around to me, and I don't know why, but
Marine
it's the
biologist.
marine biologist.
Yeah. That's like the
the
perfect
golf
example of that.
Because Kramer's like, I can't stand golf. Like, you guys can have these golf clubs. He's like, I only hit one good drive, and that was it. And Jerry meets up with an old high school classmate of George and they talk, and Jerry's like, yeah, like George he's doing well. And this lady's like, oh, really? Like, what is he doing? And Jerry's like, he's a marine biologist. Because George just watched his special on whales.
Biologist.
And Kramer is hitting golf balls into the ocean, and he just so happened to hit it into a whale, and it's a blowhole. And fucking,
And they're doing a date on the beach.
Of course, it comes back around. Yeah, George is talking to this old high school classmate on a date on the beach and has to rescue a beach fucking whale. And the funniest line to me is like, this guy is like, no one knows what a marine biologist is. Like, unless you watch Seinfeld, no one would know. But this guy on the beach is like, oh, there's a beached whale, he's dying. Is somebody a marine biologist? And
Somebody,
George is like, fuck me.
Just walks into the ocean.
That is the funniest example to me of like shit in Seinfeld coming full circle. But I think the bread and butter of Seinfeld is the fact that like it has the simplest concepts and it just runs with them and makes it funny. Like literally the best example I can think of is the Chinese restaurant. Everyone's had to wait at a restaurant, and everyone's been told, oh yeah, 5-10 minutes, and it ends up being longer. And then just the shenanigans that happen.
And then sometimes you might think, did that person come in before me?
Yes.
Or after me? Like
it's just so fucking relatable because it takes the simplest situations that everybody's been in, even if you don't live in New York, and just runs with it and makes it funny. And there's multiple plot lines and they all tie into each other. Like, dude, you think like Marvel's good at juggling plot lines and like putting everything together? Nah, Seinfeld, man. Seinfeld, even as an overarching story, everything comes full circle, even over the 9 seasons. And I think that's the full circle aspect, and just taking such simple ideas and running with it. I think
I
that's
also
so funny.
feel like it flows very naturally because like I like to come back to Friends, like you guys have probably seen those like videos. It's like Friends without the fucking laugh track. And it's just like does not flow at all. But like I feel like Seinfeld, I can't think of one time where like the laugh track in it would make it like not flow if it was removed. Like I feel like anytime that it's used, there's like very natural reactions. Like George says something fucking stupid and Jerry just like stares at him blankly, and that's when the laugh track comes on. Like I feel like that's like very natural compared to like waiting, like hold for applause. Hold on, let me fucking stop saying my line in Friends to make sure the crowd can fucking react.
Yeah, I think that's what I don't like about Friends. Those pauses.
It is very the flow of Friends is very dependent on the laugh track and the audience reaction throughout the show, and I think that's what's kind of jarring for some people.
Yeah,
like not Giga Chads. Giga Chads can see past the bullshit.
But yeah, I would say like why I think the show stands the test of time, like the bread and butter, the X Factor, is like I feel like it taps into like these like societal like standards or these norms or these ideas, and like just delves into them. Some of these just unsaid things that they just like pick apart and question, or just these instances that everyone has gone through. Like like
they say what everyone's thinking.
Yeah, like there's that episode like where they have to go to this baby shower or something like that, and they have to get like like I think George has to like bring wine to like to the occasion. He's like, why is it this unsaid like rule that we have to break something?
Yeah,
and then then it spirals into like, oh, I can't break 100. And we've all had example. Oh, you can't break 100. Oh, let me go buy something else. Oh, well, that's not enough. You have to buy more to break the 100. It's just like
such simple shit.
Yeah, or then even like parking your losing track of where you parked your car in the mall parking lot, or like, and even some even when it gets like goes into more ridiculous circumstances, I feel like then the other X factor is how great these characters are. Those are kind of like the two things, the relatable situations and like and how fantastic the cast is. But also the laugh track. Andrew, I want to touch in on that. So I don't know if you guys know this or not. I have no idea, but like I can't tell if it's an actual laugh track or if there's actual like a live audience during some parts, because like you guys know how like when Kramer walks in, like they'll be like cheering and stuff sometimes.
Every episode Kramer walks in.
Yeah, the way he opens the door is like iconic. But like they'll be like, people will be like cheering, and
his
I'm like
mannerisms, and he's just like
all over the fucking place all the time.
Yeah, so I'm like, is there like a live audience that's just like cheering when Kramer comes in, or is that what they decide to do? They use the cheer track for when Kramer busts into the room.
I really don't think it's an actual live audience.
Yeah,
I think it's a track, but
that's the thing. The other thing on Friends is that they did it in front of a live audience, so that's like a live audience that they wait for every time. So it could be that this one's a laugh track. I don't know though.
I feel like
I feel like the way it's shot is like, yeah, Jerry's apartment could be, but they have so many scenes where they're like outdoors, like walking down the street, and it could be a set, I guess, but it looks pretty real.
Yeah, those out, anything that's not like in an indoor setting, like it definitely looks like they're filming it like out on the street or something.
Yeah.
But but who knows? Maybe that's just a really good fucking set or something. I have no idea. But let's talk about, like I was kind of alluding to earlier, like the characters in the show are like fucking amazing. Like it's probably the best, like I feel like cast in like a one in general for TV shows, like one of the best, but without a doubt the best in like sitcom. This dynamic quattro of individuals, which actually it's just a few like I guess fun facts, which I feel like we always have a few for like every time we review something. The first episode is like when they actually first made the pilot to like pitch the show. It was only supposed to be Kramer, Jerry, and George, and in that first episode, they never changed it. If you actually watch the first episode, Kramer's actual name is Kessler, which is like super interesting. And then they ended up changing it to Kramer.
I remember that.
And then Cosmo.
Yeah.
Cosmo Kramer.
Yeah. And after the pilot, the network was actually like, there needs to be a female presence in the show. So that's when they actually added in Elaine. And they even have some like meta jokes to it later because, you know, there's a whole overarching plot line of like them pitching the show. And when they're pitching when they're writing the show, they don't include Elaine in the writing of the show, which I'm glad Elaine is in the show because honestly, she's I think she's one of the better. She's one of the better of the four in the whole hierarchy. But I guess kind of let's just like talk through some of the characters. Like, what do you guys think of Kramer? Where do you start with that?
Casey actually, like, the reason she enjoys the show is because of Kramer and how ridiculous he is. I think some of the moments that I have laughed the hardest are with Kramer and just how he acts. Like, not only is the shit he says ridiculous, but like he himself is ridiculous. Like I love in the parking garage episode where he's like, okay, I'm gonna set the air conditioner here. George, remember where it is. And he goes off on his own and they all find the car. And then he goes off and looks for the AC unit instead of trying to meet back up with them. And he takes another like 4 hours out of their day because he's like, man, I wish we would have I wish I would have known where I put that. And George is like, yeah, right. Like everyone loves Kramer, but everyone fucking hates Kramer. And I don't know. He's hilarious because of that. And he's got like the most famous entrances. He's always like, and the way he's like when someone's trying to talk over him and he's like, ah!
It's or when he like does his random shakes, like
yeah. Or like if he's like falling off of something, he's like pulling everything down with him and like pulling a table over himself.
Exaggerated motions for literally everything.
Yeah, he's in the way like his smile is iconic. Like he's just a big doofus. And he's a perfect character to the four. Like none could exist without each other.
And I think he's the one that gets in like all the like weird ass like one-off like bizarre situations compared to all the rest of them. Like when he has a girlfriend and he gets rid of his fridge, so he has to go to Jerry's like every fucking day to get food.
Or he bakes himself in the sun and then Newman's like looking at him like he's a chicken.
Or like the whole JFK recreation with the spitball.
Yeah.
What if there was a second spitballer or a spitter or whatever it is?
Yeah. And then when he like tries to collect the pop bottles, and then the adventures he and Newman goes on are ridiculous. Like those two are great together.
Or like when he's an extra in a fucking movie. Like it's just like the craziest shit ever.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Yeah. His one line. Yeah. And how he delivers it. No, it's like to me, he's kind of like this well, obviously he's that complete wild card dynamic in the four. Like you just never know what's gonna happen with Kramer, but he's almost to me like this inverse of George, where he just does not follow like societal norms and societal standards, but success like just kind of falls on his lap. Like he makes things work in like the weirdest situations. How we were literally, you know, talking about earlier, like that whole episode with the Miss America, like how he ends up becoming her fucking consultant. Like, like it's just like to me like an inverse of Kramer. And I know a lot of people do think Kramer is their favorite. He's not my favorite, but I think he's necessary for that like just wild card dynamic. He really like is the spice to a lot of the situations that are in the show. But I don't know if you want to add on to that, Andrew, your thoughts on Kramer.
I mean, I kind of mirror what you guys have already said. Like he's a character that like could not exist in any other show, I think, just because like the way he fits in with the other three in this show like is perfect for him. I don't know, he's just like the funniest character because he's like when we were talking about the marine biologist, like I forgot he like just like gives up on golf like just because he can't fucking hit it worth the shit, and he's like hitting on the beach. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, and then the other one I was watching was when him and Newman were playing Risk, and they like took it on the fucking subway because he kept thinking that Newman was gonna cheat, and he's like pissing everybody on the subway off because they're playing Risk like on their commute. It's like this, like just so stupid. There's so many dumb like situations he gets in, and then like gets in a fight with the fucking Ukrainian guy because he's like Ukraine.
He's like, yeah, they're like, Ukraine is weak. The Ukrainian guy like, Ukraine not weak.
What a timely episode.
I know. I actually watched that pretty recently, which
That's
I was like,
underrated.
damn, that's kind of funny.
Actually, it's not underrated. It's like the second highest rated one by this article on Vulture.
It is pretty funny, and I think that's like one of the like examples I give, like when I say like he gets in like stupid fucking situations. Like he gets in a fight with a Ukrainian guy because he's fucking playing Risk on the subway because he's like scared of Newman cheating in a fucking board game, and it's like it just like who else in the show would fucking do something like that?
Like when he makes like, oh dude, when he makes a coffee table book about coffee
yeah
tables.
And he's like on all these shows and stuff,
Regis
like Regis
and
and Kelly.
And then how he acts on Regis and Kelly, I'm pretty sure he has a spaz out moment on it too.
Yeah.
Like,
or like how he literally gets like this beautiful artistic portrait made of him for like
yeah, and it gets sold for like to rich people for lots and lots of money, and people are like, this the old couple is like looking at the photo and they're like, this exudes sex, like and the guy's like, it's despicable, and they're like, we need this.
And Kramer's literally making the light skin face in the fucking
he's so fucking
photo.
So funny. He's not, I wouldn't say he's my favorite character either, but he's necessary. He needs to be in the show.
Yeah. But going from there, like this is gonna be probably might be a hot take, but it's funny. Jerry, we're coming up next on our discussion. Obviously that he's the star of the show, but gonna be a hot take here. I actually think he's probably my least favorite out of the four. I think he takes I feel like a lot of his storylines come from the concept of like, how I was saying earlier, like these unsaid or these like ideas or things in culture, but he always approaches them in like, there's this general conversation for Seinfeld, like that all the main characters are terrible people. And I feel like, I definitely think Jerry is like a prime example of that, like, where he's just like very, superficial, I feel like, in a lot of regards.
He's a huge asshole when it comes down to it.
Yeah. And I think he's actually probably the weakest link out of the four. Not that he's not funny. I mean, he's hilarious. And it's like just his delivery on lines is, I feel like, a big part of that. Just like, but
George, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think the one reason I don't like him as much is I feel like a lot of his plots center around this, like literally every episode is just some new girlfriend. And like that it jumps around between. But I think they're all fantastic. I just think if I had to really rank him, he's probably my least favorite out of the four.
I would say the same, actually. Yeah, he's hilarious, and I love his monologues, or it's like where it shows him actually like talking about maybe what's about the episode's about at the beginning.
The beginning and end, yeah.
Yeah, I love them. And some of them have been really funny, like some of the funniest moments in the show just coming back to the monologues. But He's just an asshole. He's the biggest
Yeah.
asshole. He's probably the least likable. Like, if anything, I'm rooting for George over anybody. But yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of great moments. He's just he's definitely superficial. Like, his thing is to find something wrong in
Yeah, exactly.
That's like his shtick.
It always comes down to that. It's like things could work out perfectly fine for him, but he's like going out of his way to find like an issue in like every fucking circumstance.
Exactly. Which is hilarious, and that's like who he is. But yeah, he's probably the least likable, but he's not the least funny, I don't think. None of them to me are like the least funny, but he's definitely the least likable.
I feel like he's like the glue that holds it together, but like he doesn't stand out in any meaningful way besides just being that like the like glue, like the glue that holds the show together. Like, but there's like nothing like outstanding. And like you said, I feel like he goes out of his way to just make shit like fucking hard on himself. And like I watched the one episode that I watched recently was when he's like he's dating some girl and then like tries to like talk her into a threesome as a way to like get out of the relationship, and then like he gets it in and he tells George he's not gonna do it, and he's just like, I just don't want it. And George is like, you don't wanna. I would probably say he's my least favorite character, which is like obviously you have to put one as your least favorite out of the four, like if you're gonna rank them, but like it's still like I feel like the other characters have so dynamic of personalities that like show in different ways, and Jerry's just kind of like you said, the pessimist.
His personality is the most tame.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like putting like asking you to try like 4 filet mignons and seeing like which is the worst.
That. You do need it. With a show like this, it would be it might be over the top if there wasn't that like tame side with Jerry bringing everything together.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, and I think that, I don't know if that's a controversial take that he's like, I guess all of our least faves, but you know,
not controversial for us three.
I do love his monologues though and prologues.
Yeah,
it's just funny because like, I mean, have you guys ever seen like any like his like stand-up? Like he's not even like the funniest comedian or anything, you know, like so it's just funny how he has like this amazing show attached to his name and everything like that. But
I haven't really seen any of his stand-up outside of like what's in the show.
Yeah, he's honestly like not that funny in the grand scheme of things. But like I said, it's funny that he has this amazing show tied to it.
I love his family dynamic though, like Uncle Leo. Like some of the greatest episodes I think are with Uncle Leo in it.
Yeah, when he cashes his grandma's check and her account gets fucking bounced and she's like can't even fucking understand what the bank is telling her.
Yeah. I do think he's an important character, and just like how Costanza, how Kramer is like the spice. You know, I feel like Jerry really is the glue, because I feel like his addition to a lot of the dynamics and situations in the show help out in the benefit of like another character. Specifically, I think George, which we'll get to George, but like I feel like specifically a lot of like it's dynamic, a lot of encounters where him and George are in it, like how he bounces off of George is like prime. Like it really like boosts George's character up even more, I feel like. But from there, a character which I feel like most people would say is their least favorite, and which I don't agree with this, and obviously we all don't, because we didn't say Elaine, which Elaine is fantastic. She's like the actor out of all of them that's had like a solid career afterwards. I mean, she was in Veep, which was like a really popular show.
Christmas Vacation.
That's not like
a main.
I don't know, Marco.
And
Marco.
And now she's in the MCU, which
oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, which is crazy. She's like pretty much like the female Nick Fury now. But yeah, what do you guys think about Elaine? Because I think Elaine, this one, like, I have a weird kind of weird putting her into a specific box, like maybe some of the other ones. Because I feel like she kind of like really jumps around and like kind of has a lot of the traits of like the other three, depending on the episode. I love one thing I love about her is how she always also has kind of the exaggerated like moving around of like Kramer. Like she always like pushes to like them whenever she like yeah, she always pushes them. She also has kind of that like bad person mentality, I feel like, of Jerry, but like kind of like the female counterpart of that. And then
I was gonna say the female version of Jerry.
Yeah, and also kind of like the aspect of Kramer, I feel like, where she doesn't maybe get like some certain social cues for some things, like, you know, like the baseball game fiasco. Like
it's just a hat.
Yeah.
It's a hat. I'm wearing a cap to a baseball game.
Yeah. Or like taking phone calls during like work. Like it's just like, this phone call's for you. Also, I feel like they use this gag a few times where like someone complains about something Elaine does, but they don't realize it's Elaine until like at the end of the episode, like they recognize by her voice or something that she does that it's Elaine.
Oh god, the
like,
phone sex episode.
The phone sex, the toilet, the won't spare square episode. That also happens.
Can't spare a square.
Yeah,
I have
like
no
that,
square to spare.
Yeah, so I feel like that gag plays out like a few times, but I love Elaine. She's actually one of my favorites. But what do you guys think of her?
I think it's interesting how like her, I feel like most of the guys that she like goes on dates with and stuff end up like being like a huge part of each episode they're in, like just like some roundabout way.
Yeah. It's always a subplot with Jerry's girlfriend or Elaine's like boyfriend.
Yeah,
almost every episode.
Yeah, I mean, I like Elaine's character. I think she's one of the funnier. I mean, I guess there's only 4, so that's kind of dumb to say, but I do enjoy her character a lot, and I think like kudos to them for putting her in the show, because I feel like the show would be a lot different if she wasn't in there to like balance out the rest of them.
I also think it's such a weird dynamic. Like, I don't know, like the fact that her and like Jerry are exes, but they're like pretty much still like always hanging out all the time. And even some of like Jerry's girlfriends are like get jealous, you know, they're like, or like they question it, that dynamic. I always thought that dynamic was like super weird.
Well, and it's weirder and interesting how they like try to have sex as friends.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work out. Like, they're like, we're gonna come up with this big set of rules, like we're gonna have guidelines to this shit. Which makes me think even more like Elaine is like the female version of Jerry, but I think Elaine's funnier. And I love like I feel like she always has a big realization in episode.
Yeah.
Like where the episode where like her and George were the same, like the opposite. It's called The Opposite. I'm looking at like that list of best episodes, and I'm thinking about that one and how great it was, and like how Elaine at the end, she's like, oh my gosh, I've become George.
Yeah.
And like, because Elaine is usually probably one of the more successful people, but definitely not in that episode. And then it's just funny how Elaine definitely like she shows that even women have those like guy moments, like in the contest where like you'd think a guy is so obsessed with like sex, but like Elaine definitely shows the other side of it where like not necessarily. She's just hilarious, and there definitely needed to be a female presence in this. So like I'm glad she's in it. I love Elaine. I love her realizations, and like when one of the funniest moments, and I can't even remember the entire context to it for some reason right now, but when her and George's dad get into it, like in the hospital in one episode, and they like go at each other. Dude, it's just, Elaine is hilarious. And really, we talk about all these characters individually, like all of them need each other for the show to work. I can't imagine like they're all in every episode, and I can't imagine like what it would be like without one of them.
They just play
Elaine
off of each
is-
other so well.
Exactly. And I think Elaine, I agree with you, Ursula. She kind of like fills the void in an episode. Like she might be like Jerry or like George in one episode, or like Kramer with her dance moves. Like, and the phone sex one is fucking hilarious. Like,
the one where is that the one? Are you talking about the one where George is like horny for her?
yeah.
And he gets
And he doesn't know, and then he finds out, dude. It's just like, and Elaine acts like it's no big deal, and then George is like, yeah, it's a big deal.
Which, getting right to it, and I want to save him for last. Potentially my favorite character.
Best for last.
Yeah, potentially potentially my favorite character in like a show ever. Like, dude, George Costanza is a fucking gem. Like, dude, yeah, George is hands down. Like, it's not even a question that George is my favorite out of the four. Like,
Same.
dude, he is always just try to find the like sleaziest, like this most meme worthy way to get through any situation, and like literally like
I'm an architect.
yeah, or like literally art
Vandalay. Art Vandalay.
Dude, Art Vandalay is like one of the funniest running gags ever, just because there's so many great running gags with George, and like just his whole concept of his character is like a gold mine for like hilarious situations. Like, how can I get through any situation in like the most like fake it till you make it scenario ever? And like literally like the episode I watched last night, it just summed it up perfectly. Like where he's trying to bring George is trying to get one of the Yankees players to go to this pledge drive, and he just like finesses everyone by like eating Snickers with a fork and a knife. He's like,
yeah, then everybody in the meeting at the Yankees starts doing it too, and he's so fucking funny.
And it's like the funniest shit ever. And he's like, and it just like right before he goes to that meeting, he's like, how am I gonna convince someone to go to the Yankees? And literally sums up his character perfectly. Like, Jerry's just like, just do the thing where you just lie to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what he's always doing. Like, or even when he's not lying, like let's say even if he thinks he has a good idea, it always goes wrong in the end for George. Like the whole
like
the
when
polyester.
The polyester.
Or like when he fakes his attendance in the Yankees, like when he works for the Yankees, he fakes his attendance for so long that they eventually think he's dead. They're like, oh God, we gotta like put together something for George since he's dead.
Yeah, or like the whole like how he's trying to extend his unemployment claims, so he ends up going on a date with like the daughter of like the claims agent. Like,
yeah.
Like,
there's so many like funny ass episodes that like the one that I saw recently was like when they go to the Hamptons and his girlfriend's there and Jerry's girlfriend is there, and George leaves to get the Hampton tomatoes, and his girlfriend like takes her top off to sunbathe, and he's like so fucking pissed that he like didn't get to see it that like the whole rest of the episode he's trying to see Jerry's girlfriend while she's like fucking changing.
yeah.
He just like barges in. He's like,
well, and that's
I've seen
also
it.
that. And that's also the episode with the iconic, I was in the pool.
There's so many
shrinkage.
Oh, and that's,
yeah.
the shrinkage, and that's the one where Kramer like illegally like takes lobsters from like the lobster traps.
Yeah, he's like, I just found them.
I just found them. They're
in
just
cages.
everywhere, Jerry. They're just all over the beach. They're for you to take.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's so many just like iconic lines with George, like Serenity now.
The summer of George.
Serenity now. I was in the pool.
Like she caught me, doing it.
She caught me.
Doing it.
And I think the other thing that's funny about George is his parents. His parents are fucking hilarious in the show.
Yes.
Like when they're doing the what is that? What's that episode called? The one where they don't jerk it.
The contest.
The contest.
And she like his mom finds out about it and she's like, I found my son playing with himself like he's an amusement park. Like,
an amusement park. And it's like to a magazine.
Yeah.
Like not even like,
and his dad is so fucking funny too.
And it's hilarious how like his parents love Kramer, and then like Jerry's parents love Kramer. Like,
Yeah, well, like one of the funniest gags, it happens a few times, like that season where his mom is in the hospital, and like he's just sitting there, and
I was
like there's
thinking
some
about that episode.
where like he just sees stuff happening in the curtain behind him, and there's two scenarios that are like parallels with each other. Where I think it's one is during the contest where he watches he sees like this nurse giving this other like patient like a bath
A
or something
bath,
like
yeah.
that. He just making this face like through the he just watch like cringing or watching it through the curtain. And then the inverse of that
And
situation
his mom's
is
right next to him, like,
yeah, and she's like George.
Georgie.
And then the inverse of that is the same season, The Outing, where they think George and Jerry are lovers. This is like one of the funniest
Not
ones
that there's
where
anything wrong with that.
yeah, which is another iconic line. But when the same thing is happening, but this time it's a male nurse giving like a male patient like a massage, and he's just watching it like with like curiosity, I guess, and it's just like the
Everything
funniest
comes
shit.
full circle, dude.
Everything comes full circle, and then even like we live in a society, like that's an iconic line. Like
That came
like
from Seinfeld.
yeah, George is literally amazing. Like I just want to watch. Like generally, sometimes when I'm trying to pick an episode, I just try to see like what the description is of like George's subplot, like for the episode, like because I'm like, okay, like what is George getting himself into? Does that sound interesting? Yeah, let's see what George is gonna get out of this one.
And the whole like Marissa Tomei plot line where like he could have been with Marissa Tomei apparently, and like he ends up like the whole engagement thing with Susan, the whole relationship there. Like
That one,
it's one of the weaker ones, but like it's
it
so
also has a really
ridiculous.
dark ending.
Yeah, where Susan fucking dies
Yeah.
because George cheaps out and gets the cheap ass like recalled invitations, and she's like licking them for the wedding, and then like he's happy that she dies basically.
Yeah, that's like one of the definitely the darker moments. It's just like damn, and that like almost like hones in that these are like honestly, I guess question for you guys: are you guys kind of under the behind the mentality that these are all like terrible people?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so funny,
Yeah.
because everyone's a terrible person, really, at the end of the day.
I think I'm a pretty good guy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like and I'm a great guy. I'm a great guy.
People that say that are bad guys.
The bad
a
guy.
bad guy.
Jesus. But no, literally, like all the characters, they all play off each other so well. But I guys, what is your guys' like definitive ranking of the four? Because I'd probably say it goes Jerry, and then controversially, I'm actually going to put Kramer third, and then Elaine, and then George.
I think
George is number
mine
one.
mirrors yours.
That's the exact same for me.
Wow,
Like literally the exact same.
crazy how that works out. I guess I'm curious. Are there any plot lines that you guys have like watched and you're just like, about, or like you don't like? I know specifically.
Episode?
Worst episodes are like plot lines that you're just like, what the fuck is this, or like why has this been like going on for so long? I definitely say like worst episode, just like this came to mind because I actually looked at this list of like all the episodes ranked, and yeah, I would say the Puerto Rican Day Parade is probably the worst episode because it's just like not funny. There's just some episodes that like I don't know, sometimes their climax is like kind of whatever. I feel like it doesn't have that like kind of nice punch that like a lot of the best episodes do, and I think like Puerto Rican Day Parade is definitely one of them. I also think like that whole plot, like the whole thing with like her dying at the end is like kind of a really weird and like out of character and like dark ending for that whole arc.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty
I
thought it was
the dumbest one, I think, or the worst one that involves George is the nose job one. I think that one is just like such a stupid episode.
Oh, I don't know. Dude,
Oh.
it's hard. It's hard for me to come up with one that I didn't think was funny. Like I've been looking through this list trying to even figure one out. I don't know.
Oh, the I'd say the watch. That's another one because that's like a 1 hour episode or something, and it's like the most like drawn out thing about like this watch that like they like he lose it like his like dad gave to him that Jerry's dad gave to him, but then he like lost it or something, and then he gets it back. That's one of those ones where I felt like just didn't deserve a 2 part episode, but that's just me.
I can't really, honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of an episode that I didn't think landed. Besides maybe the Puerto Rican Day Parade, just because not a lot happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably a gold mine to talk about, but like, what are some favorites?
The best episode.
The best. There's some of your favorite moments, favorite things. Obviously, I mean, we can just keep going back around and around, but I'll just start off like Art Vandelay. I don't know why. There's something about Art Vandelay, like the fact that that's his fucking alter ego is some dude named Art Vandelay. This like exquisite like entrepreneur dude.
Yeah, like the
that, like,
complete opposite of what George actually fucking is.
Yeah, and like how he even uses that for like his unemployment, like oh yeah, I work for art. Tell them I work for art for Vandelay Industries. It's and it's just this never ending joke. It keeps always coming back up. Art Vandelay. But that's like one thing that comes to mind in terms of like a reoccurring gag that happens throughout the show. But what about you, Andrew?
I mean, out of like the episodes that probably hit the hardest are like probably like the most cliche ones. Like we talked about like the contest. That one's hilarious because they get this whole thing around like, you know, not masturbating, but they do it in such a way that it's like
where they don't say it.
Yeah, where they don't explicitly say don't like, you know, masturbate, but they like use all these different like little like terms and stuff to like get around saying it, which is like, and like just the whole contest itself is fucking funny. But like yeah, like marine biologist, an all-timer. One of the ones that I saw recently that I kind of liked was the mom and pop shop one. When Kramer like goes in the mom and pop shop, it's like, you know, your wiring's a little faulty here, and they like have to close down because like they make a city inspector come to like fucking look at it. I don't know why that one hit different with me. I thought it was just fucking it shows how like Kramer can't do like one single thing like normal. Like he tries to like support a mom and pop shop and just fucking like shits the bed on it.
Yeah, John, what are some reoccurring gags? I was mentioning Art Vandelay. I think it's like, I don't know why, there's something about Art Vandelay, like how he keeps using that as like for different situations that I think is fucking hilarious. That's like probably my favorite like reoccurring gag, I guess, throughout the show.
I love George's interactions with George Steinbrenner. The Yankees.
Yeah, all the Yankees ones are funny.
Because you never see his head either, and George is always walking out like, all right,
yeah,
I give
like
up.
When he gets the job, you don't see any of Steinbrenner. You just see his hand like poke out of the fucking doorway. He's like, you're hired.
Yeah, that I love that dynamic. George's dynamic with Jerry and his dynamic with his parents. I even like the dynamic between Jerry and his parents. The dynamic between Kramer and women that is reoccurring, where like things always just work out for Kramer, and he always like gets the girl that he wants, and no one else, like Elaine usually gets like career stuff that she wants, but
I feel like, you know, one thing I gotta give respect to, George can pull. George can pull.
He can.
Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah, and I love seeing George pull and then fuck it up. Like with some dumbass comment. Yeah. And like there's even the episode The Opposite, which is one of my favorites, where he does the opposite of literally everything he would usually do.
The opposite, man. That's how he gets the Yankees job.
Yeah, he does so well when he does the opposite. And then like I think he even had a happy ending that episode, and I think it was that, but then he never comes back to that idea. But I love that episode. Like the yada yada is iconic. And there's so many dark episodes. It's hard. There's so many good fucking episodes. Like the pony remark, even in season 2, where Elaine or Jerry's like, oh, I hate anyone that had a pony growing up, and that lady's like, I had a pony. And she ends up dying, and Elaine like blames Jerry on her death, like her untimely death, because he said that he hated anyone that had a pony growing up. It's just like, it's so ridiculous.
And
The
even when
whole
it gets
show.
like, yeah, so ridiculous, like the characters, like I was saying, like always make it hilarious. Like even like the O'Brien episode, like
Yeah.
where like like where they're going to a meeting with the KKK. Like
Yes, yes.
like,
I'm
like-
O'Brien.
it's like we're picking up your guests. I know where to go. Okay, thank you, driver. Thank you. And they're praising O'Brien. It's like, no, and it's like the most ridiculously like specific circumstance. No one has seen O'Brien. This is about to be the first time that everyone sees O'Brien.
So
And-
fucking
I
ridiculous.
fucking forgot about that one. That's
The
hilarious.
O'Brien episode, the Chinese restaurant, iconic.
yeah. I guess leading from that, what are your guys' like favorite episodes? What are just some ones? Probably impossible to do like a ranking, but like just some
Yeah,
ones
I
you want to
know.
give a shout out to.
I would say the Chinese restaurant for sure. I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
come back to that episode because we've all been there. Like the parking garage, I always have a photo as my background on what we're talking about on Zoom and the podcast. And mine was the parking garage today. The opera with Crazy Joe Davola, where he dresses up as the clown from the opera. The contest, obviously, the marine biologist, the big salad. I love
big
The
salad.
big salad.
You had to get the big salad. It
The
wouldn't have
rye.
been a big deal. The soup Nazi's iconic. I always think about it, but it's probably one of my least favorite episodes, actually, now that I think about it, just because I think I've seen it the most and it's referenced the most. And people always talk about it when they talk about Seinfeld. So if I were to say like one of my least favorite, it actually might be a hot take, but probably the soup Nazi.
Out of every episode in Seinfeld, you think Soup Nazi's worse than the Puerto Rican Day Parade?
Not worse, but it's one of the worst just because it's like,
Dude, but that's where
So-
Schmoopy came from. Schmoopy.
oh yeah, that was the Schmoopy subplot. I forgot about that.
How dare you? Disgrace.
Hot
You fuck.
take. I love the Frogger episode where George is trying to save his high score on the Frogger machine, and there's like a battery they attach to it, and he's like, he has just like a sliver of time, and he has to be a Frogger, like do the Frogger to get across the fucking street. That shit's hilarious. And like the finale, because everything comes full circle, like it always does in Seinfeld. And it's hilarious. Spoilers, big spoilers, but they all end up in jail.
Spoilers
And-
for a 30-year-old show.
Right. But they all end up in jail, all four of them together. And like one of the last lines in the show is one of the first lines in the show,
Yeah.
which I love. It's just so perfect. So those are probably some of my favorites that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I like the Chinese restaurant one, the marine biologist, of course. The one where he has like the car reservation, that one's also pretty funny, but maybe that's just because I've seen that in every fucking business class I've ever fucking taken, because every
Yeah.
professor shows that shit.
Which episode?
The one where he has the car reservation.
Oh yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I made the reservation.
That's why I made the reservation. You know how to take the reservation, but you don't know how to
know
hold
how to
it.
keep.
And keeping and holding the reservation is really the most important part of the reservation.
That's why
the
it's a
clip.
reservation.
That's the clip they play, on Netflix, where if you just like or stay on
Yeah.
tile. Yeah. I love that scene.
I
Yeah.
also think the other one that's funny, that I forgot about until recently, was the one where there's like a fire and he pushes out like all these kids at the birthday party out of the way to like get
Oh,
out of the
yeah.
fucking place, and the police officer's like, how do you live with yourself? He's just like sitting there.
And I want to give a shout out to that whole reservation thing too, because it just reminds me of when we went to Kobe for prom.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
thought of
Yeah.
that episode.
Yeah.
I literally thought of that episode.
You know
and
how
we
to
were
take the
talking
reservation.
about how it was a Seinfeld
You know
episode.
how to take the reservation, but you don't know how to hold on to it.
Yeah,
It's
that will
hilarious.
that
We have
will
moments.
yeah,
where
I don't
we're like,
know. Yeah, if anyone has been to Kobe, but they have this stupid fucking policy that a reservation isn't actually a reservation. It's like the dumbest shit ever.
like
Yeah.
people that don't have a reservation can get in front of you somehow.
Yeah, the
like-
Chinese restaurant and the reservation are all happen at Kobe.
Literally.
Kobe's
It's
mid now,
terrible.
anyways.
Yeah,
It's just
Kobe's-
hilarious.
yeah.
It's hilarious when stuff like even with us, when stuff ridiculous happens in our lives, we're like, this is like a Seinfeld episode right now.
Literally Grand Theft Auto. When we-
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think one of my other favorite ones I've seen recently is the label maker one. I think that one's fucking funny because they like Jerry's just like so, or Elaine's so appalled that like god damn it, what is Bryan Cranston's character's name?
Oh, I can't remember.
That his character like re-gifted the label maker that she gave him, and then she's like, I was wondering if I could have
Tim
the label
Watley?
maker back.
Was it Tim Watley?
Yeah, Tim
Oh.
Watley.
Yeah, I think it was actually, yeah.
And then that whole time is like you like have no idea who the fuck is getting these Super Bowl tickets because like 5 different people say that like Tim Watley gave them Super Bowl tickets, like Elaine and Newman, and then like Jerry gives them to Tim Watley, and then he like just like has no idea, and then Jerry shows up and it's fucking Newman at the Super Bowl he has to sit next to. There's so many. It's like hard to. I think it's like easier to find bad episodes than to find try to find like the best episodes because there's so many that are just like iconic and like you said, John. There's so many like yada 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 coming from the show. There's so many like different like iconic like things that like people don't even realize are from Seinfeld that are like just like ingrained in our like meme culture now.
Exactly. Like people think The Office has memes.
No, fucking
Yeah.
Office.
Seinfeld is
Fucking hate the Office.
every episode.
Everything comes back to Seinfeld.
The Ass Man episode,
Look
where
where it
Kramer
led
gets
you. Back
the-
to me.
where Kramer gets the Ass Man fucking license plate. I'm the Ass Man. I'm a proctologist. It's so good. There's so many good episodes.
Yeah, I'd say like some shout outs I want to give out to Chinese restaurant. That's just like an icon. That's like everyone has been in that situation. So iconic. The Lost Car episode. I don't remember the exact name of it. The contest is hilarious. For a lot of reasons. The outing, as controversial as that episode might be, which I don't know why it's controversial. That's that's a hilarious episode. The marine biologist, I have to give a shout out to the marine biologist, just because that's like a perfect example of things coming together in like the most ridiculous ways. Like it's just like absolutely
Golf ball out like George
like
at the very end.
There's just so many amazing moments, like, and like you said, it's just really hard to narrow it down to like a specific thing. I will say I think the show's like prime content is probably like from season 3 to like 6. Those are I think where the best episodes lie, because I think after or 3 to like 7, I'd say, because I think after season 7 ended, Larry David actually stopped writing for the show, so 8 and 9 are actually without him, and you can actually, I feel like there is a little bit of a dip in quality without him.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
I feel like in the later seasons the show like tried too hard.
Yeah, it kind of walked away from some of the relatability of certain situations. And actually, like another fun fact, that's why I actually stopped seeing those comedy skits, like where he does like those comedy things in season 8 and 9, because Jerry Seinfeld didn't have enough time to like do that. Like he didn't have time to do any of those anymore because he had to take a lot more of a bigger presence on the writing end, just writing the plots for the episode. So he wasn't able to do that for like the last 2 seasons. That's why you see those completely disappear after season 7. But yeah, the show is, I mean, it's a hallmark of society.
It really
we live in a
is.
society. It's just a classic show, and it's like if you think any sitcom is the best that isn't this, then you need to watch this show, because you either have bad taste, you're a pleb, or you just haven't seen the show. So
Literally,
watch Seinfeld. I mean,
we highly recommend.
Watch that shit.
Obviously, I mean, it's a 10 for me.
It's an easy 10.
Easy
yeah, we
10.
don't need the 10 out of 10. Easy.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Easy 10. Add that to
I
the
do
tenants.
wish that Netflix would do like what we were talking about earlier before the pod, where you could find the custom like playlist of like best episodes for George, best episodes for Jerry, Elaine, Kramer, and then like
I thought
the
they had that at
best of
one
all.
time.
They don't on Netflix. They did
On Hulu, then
It was
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
yeah, I love that. Like all the like food related episodes.
Yeah,
all the,
because like when I would turn it on to just like have something playing, I would find like one of those playlists instead of just like running through like that's how I
forgot
watched
Hulu
most
did
of them was
that.
just going through those playlists, honestly.
I forgot
Yeah.
Hulu did that, but I missed that too. Fucking
Well,
Netflix. It always ruins
Netflix.
everything.
Netflix.
Netflix sucks.
Yeah. Pick up our
Fuck
podcast. Fuck you, Netflix.
yeah.
Sponsorship.
All right.
Give us a
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Fucking share with your friends. Fucking
Just
do it. Go listen. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.